Test cricket is the oldest, purest, and most demanding form of the game, a format that tests not just a batsman's technical skill, but their concentration, their character, their patience, and their ability to produce runs over and over again across hundreds of matches and thousands of innings spanning careers that often last well over a decade. To accumulate runs in Test cricket at the very highest level is to prove yourself not just as a talented player, but as a man of extraordinary mental and physical endurance, and the 10 batsmen on this list are the greatest run accumulators the Test match arena has ever witnessed. Starting at number 10 is Mahela Jayawardene of Sri Lanka, who scored 11,114 Test runs across 149 matches between 1997 and 2015 at a batting average of 49.84, making 34 centuries and 50 half-centuries in 252 innings during a career in which he became one of Sri Lanka's most beloved and respected players ever to hold a bat. Jayawardene was a batsman of extraordinary elegance. His cover drive was widely considered one of the most beautiful strokes in the game, and he scored 374 against South Africa in 2006, which remains the highest individual Test score ever made by a Sri Lankan batsman and one of the highest of all time. Just above him at number 9 is his West Indian counterpart Shivnarine Chanderpaul, who finished his Test career with 11,867 runs from 164 Tests between 1994 and 2015, averaging 51.37 with 30 centuries and 66 half-centuries. Chanderpaul's unconventional, crab-like batting stance was unlike anything the cricketing world had seen before, but his results were irrefutable. He was one of the most resilient and consistent batsmen of his generation, carrying the West Indian batting lineup almost single-handedly for much of the 2000s and early 2010s, during a period when West Indies cricket was struggling to recapture its former dominance. Eighth on this list is the legendary Brian Lara of the West Indies, who scored 11,953 Test runs in 131 matches from 1990 to 2006 at a batting average of 52.88, making 34 centuries and 48 half-centuries in an extraordinary career that produced some of the most breathtaking innings in the history of the game. Lara holds 2 of the most celebrated batting records in cricket: the highest individual Test score of all time, 400 not out against England in Antigua in April 2004, and the previous record he also held of 375 against England in 1994, making him the only batsman in history to have held the highest individual Test score record twice. At number 7 is Kumar Sangakkara of Sri Lanka, who accumulated 12,400 Test runs from 134 matches between 2000 and 2015 at a remarkable batting average of 57.40, which is the highest of any batsman in the top 10 on this list, with 38 centuries and 52 half-centuries in only 233 innings. Sangakkara was not just a run scorer but an artist, a wicket-keeper batsman who combined the physical demands of keeping wicket with consistently delivering some of the most refined batting the game has ever seen, and his career average of 57.40 stands as a testament to his extraordinary technical mastery and concentration across all conditions around the world. Moving into 6th position is England's Alastair Cook, who retired from international cricket in 2018, having scored 12,472 Test runs from 161 matches at an average of 45.35, with 33 centuries and 57 half-centuries across a career that made him the highest run scorer in the history of English Test cricket. Cook was an immovable object at the top of the England batting order for over a decade, a left-handed opener whose ability to absorb pressure, wear down bowlers, and grind out long innings on difficult pitches made him one of the most valuable Test batsmen England has ever produced. 5th on the list is Rahul Dravid of India, known throughout the cricket world as The Wall, who scored 13,188 Test runs from 164 matches between 1996 and 2012 at an average of 52.31, with 36 centuries and 63 half-centuries in a career defined entirely by discipline, technique, and an iron will to succeed in the most challenging batting conditions. Dravid was the batsman his teammates and captain turned to in a crisis, a man who could bat for hours under extreme pressure without ever appearing flustered, and whose contributions to Indian cricket during the 2000s, particularly in overseas conditions where Indian batsmen had historically struggled, were absolutely immeasurable. At number 4 is Jacques Kallis of South Africa, one of the greatest all-rounders in the history of cricket, who scored 13,289 Test runs from 166 matches between 1995 and 2013 at an average of 55.37, with 45 Test centuries, the second most of any batsman in history, and also took 292 Test wickets, making his contribution to South African cricket as a batting force and as a bowling weapon something truly unique in the annals of the game. Just 1 run behind Dravid and 1 run ahead of him in the all-time list, Kallis's batting average of 55.37 combined with his bowling record makes him arguably the most complete cricketer who ever lived. Third is Ricky Ponting of Australia, who scored 13,378 test runs from 168 matches between 1995 and 2012 at an average of 51.85, making 41 centuries and 62 half-centuries in a career that saw him captain Australia to back-to-back World Cup victories and lead one of the most dominant sides in the history of the game. Ponting's pull shot was ferocious, his footwork against spin was exceptional, and his ability to score big runs in high-pressure situations, particularly in Ashes cricket against England, made him the most feared Australian batsman of his era, second only in the all-time test run scoring charts to the man at number 1. In second place as of early 2026 is England's Joe Root, who is still playing international cricket and has accumulated 13,943 test runs from 163 matches since his debut in 2012, with 41 test centuries and an average that keeps climbing as he continues to produce innings of the very highest quality in Test cricket's most demanding conditions. Root has already overtaken Ponting, Dravid, Kallis, and Cook on the all-time list and is now firmly in second place, with the greatest Test run scorer of all time still some way ahead of him, though Root's form and longevity ensure that he will continue to add to his tally for years to come. And at the undisputed summit of this list, in a position that may well stand unchallenged for generations, is Sachin Tendulkar of India, who scored 15,121 test runs from 200 test matches between 1989 and 2013 at an average of 53.79, with 51 centuries, the most test centuries of any batsman in history, and 68 half-centuries across 329 innings. Tendulkar made his Test debut at the age of 16 against Pakistan in Karachi in November 1989, and over the next 24 years he carried the hopes and dreams of 1 billion cricket-loving Indians on his small but monumentally strong shoulders, never once flinching under the pressure and consistently delivering performances that left teammates, opponents, and spectators in a state of awe. His 15,121 test runs represent a mountain that no batsman in the current generation looks likely to scale, and his name remains forever at the very top of the most sacred batting records list that Test cricket has ever produced.